This episode will air January 20th, which is a significant day. It is Inauguration Day. Tully and I will be there in D.C.
Nice.
For the inauguration. We're doing one of the balls that night, which is going to be...
The Grand Ball.
Is it the Grand Ball?
No.
It should be called the Grand Ball. It's amazing.
Might be called the Grand Ball. It will be grand.
It will be. But we get to do this ball. It's pretty
fantastic.
awesome, right?
You guys get to go do that. It's amazing.
Yeah. Should we
Now-
wear our Dumb and Dumber suits?
I would love to.
You know, you're not going to hit a smash every time you write a movie.
Yeah.
Just like writing a song, you're not going to write a smash every time you
And
do
he's
it.
on fire.
But he's
you know?
good. He's consistent
On fire.
and he's good.
So-
He's really good. He knows what he wants. He knows, and his most of the time he writes a good one.
You know what we should do? We should be pitching songs to Taylor Sheridan for his shows.
You need, but you know what?
Good idea.
Before I forget, you know what?
Hold
bugged
on.
me?
You don't think we should be?
No, we should be.
Okay. How about Dan Campbell and the Lions? You guys, everybody's got to be, you got to be a fan of that team, right?
Yeah.
Who is not a fan of Dan Campbell? You guys don't watch NFL, do you?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't watch
bit.
that
I
much.
watch football.
But
I mean, we're college
the
guys.
Lions,
but we watch.
that's a good organization to root for,
Yeah.
to me.
I mean, that's
Anybody
That's a
can,
football
anybody in the NFL can just watch the team play, and then go follow them into the locker room and see what's going on in the locker room. See what the vibe's like, and see what the atmosphere and the air is like in the locker room. That's all you got to do in the NFL.
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
Wow, yeah, I'll bring us on. Here we are. We're back. Are we ready to roll, James? James, you look good. Did you have some eggnog this year?
Oh, about 8 bottles of it.
Really? You got any left over?
I think I do.
What? You know what? My question to you guys.
What happened to your voice? It got really.
Hey, listen, this is my broadcast voice. I'm learning from Jim. Hey, do y'all have any Evan Williams eggnog left over?
I have a bottle left.
You do?
Yeah.
I have no bottles left.
You have none?
Yeah.
Last bottle I had,
Caleb,
I brought
this is-
here.
this
I
is
brought
all on
here,
you
shared
anyway.
it with you guys, and that was the last one I had.
Really? All right. I think I've got 4 bottles left. And my question was,
Also, now I have a bottle left, right?
well, y'all are going to leave with a parting gift tonight.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. You can celebrate with eggnog all year long,
Sounds
especially
good. Hey,
with,
that sounds good right now. I would love a glass of that right now.
It really
you
does.
would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the
Let's wear
spirits
the
of
break.
Doug
Cold
left you.
outside.
It's cold outside.
Can we have some? Can we have some?
Gotta go home.
I don't know. Hey, Wade.
It's cold outside.
We have some. And, you know what? I'll have my little minion run downstairs and get you a glass. So
All
anyway,
kinds of voices.
Let's wait till the break.
look here.
Like Kamala Harris, all your accents you got going.
It's Kamala.
You never know what's going to come out of here.
What is it, Kamala?
No, it's Kamala.
It's Kamala.
It is Kamala.
Hey, look! I got a question
Or
before
it
y'all
was
get
Kamala.
off the eggnog story. I gotta get you before you get off the eggnog. How long's the shelf life on Evan Williams eggnog? That's my question.
I don't know.
I don't think it ever comes into play.
If you don't
drink
open
it
it,
before
yeah.
it would ever.
There's got to be a shelf life. If
you
good
don't-
till next year.
I don't know. I mean, it's got some, it's got a little bit of dairy in there. So you have to, if you open it, I bet it tells you to drink it within so many days.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I
Which
can't
it
find a
doesn't
date
last-
on it.
It doesn't last that long anyway.
I can't find a date
I
on
wonder
it.
if people think we're drunks.
No,
It's a possible.
Possible.
they don't. They don't. Hey, welcome back to the podcast, guys.
Yeah, this is the Try That in a Small Town podcast. We are at the Patriot Mobile Studios, hopefully drinking some Evan Williams. And
It does sound amazing right now.
it always
we'll get
sounds
you some.
amazing.
I'll throw it out there again.
I mean,
no one's moving.
Let's start at least by saying Happy New Year, Kurt.
Oh my God.
We're way past that.
We did it. We did it.
Come on, we're still in the month of January,
So
right?
let's have this very quick discussion.
Oh, good.
My cutoff date is a week. 5 days, actually.
5th.
5 days. Everybody's got a cutoff date. When's yours?
We talked about this a little bit before coming on, but the music industry, we started back on the 6th, which was Monday. So I would take that all the way to Friday because we hadn't seen people since the holidays. So when we came in here, tonight, if I didn't know that you'd get angry for me saying Happy New Year, I would have said, Happy New Year, everybody.
That doesn't make sense, though. Like,
But-
what if the first time you see somebody is in February?
But it's not, it's the 7th. Like right now, it's the 7th.
So you have a 2-week grace period.
Not necessarily. No. Now, if I came back to work on the 2nd and the 2nd was a Monday, that Friday I'm done. That
Let
makes
me
sense?
ask you this.
So I go through that one work week when I hadn't seen anybody from the holidays, and that's where I would.
Let me
cut
ask
it
you
off.
this. Tully's birthday is April 13th.
Very good.
I know.
This is-
Impressive, right?
This is different.
So Tully's birthday comes around. Happy birthday, Tully.
Right.
Maybe you see him the next day, you go, hey, happy birthday. I hope you had a good birthday. At what point do you stop saying, if it's April 28th, happy birthday, Tully?
It's a legitimate point.
Well, no, it's different because
No,
Tully's
there's
birthday
nothing
is
different.
is so much
No,
smaller
it's not
than
different.
a new year.
It's really not.
It's a new year for Tully.
I know, but that's just one person. This is the whole world,
well,
God.
right?
here's the main problem.
Do you have a response? I mean,
This is all silly to me anyway, because I'm with Kurt. You get a week, regardless, because you don't have to say Happy New Year to someone anyway.
I agree. It's
You don't
fluff.
have to say
I never
this.
do.
It's
It's not in
fluff.
my
Yeah,
nature to
I
say
say
it.
if you see someone, if I see someone on the 3rd getting coffee, someone I don't know, I might say Happy New Year because I feel it in the first week.
Yeah.
But just if I see someone I know on the 12th or the 8th, I'm not saying it. You don't have to
Of
say
course
Happy
you're not.
New Year just because
Yeah.
you know the
I know.
person.
You're right.
fluff.
You're right. I don't ever say it. I never return fire ever. I mean, if they say Happy New Year, I'll say Roll Tide or something, like that. I never. That's actually great.
Oh, is it rolled? I thought it was high tide.
Yeah, I know, right?
I
High
love that
tide.
commercial. That's
great.
High tide.
I don't say. I've never said Happy New Year back. I just don't. It feels. I feel uncomfortable saying it.
I don't think
I
we
don't
really,
know why.
We don't really say it as much as we do.
but I do.
We text it.
Happy
we,
New Year.
We text it
It's
and
like,
email it.
get
That
your
you
shit
like,
Now the
together.
that first
iPhones, have you
week.
noticed, if you put Happy New Year in,
I love it. Love the fireworks. Fantastic.
do?
Yeah.
You're a
you got to be
fan?
careful though. You can't put anything after the Happy New Year, or it won't give it to you. You got to be just Happy New Year. No exclamation points. That's Happy
How do you
New
even
Year.
do that? I don't even know where to find that on my phone. How do you do
all
that?
right, do you
you
think
just
people have
text it.
turned this off yet?
Probably.
No. We're great. They love us.
Hey, so let's go to this. This episode will air January 20th, which is a significant day. It is Inauguration Day. Tully and I will be there in D.C. For the inauguration. We're doing one of the balls that night, which is going to be...
The Grand Ball.
Is it the Grand Ball?
No.
It should be called the Grand Ball. It's amazing.
Might be called the Grand Ball. It will be grand.
It will be. But we get to do this ball. It's pretty
fantastic.
awesome, right?
You guys get to go do that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Should we
Now-
wear our Dumb and Dumber suits?
I would love to. It is a black tie event. I don't really have a black tie. What are you going to wear?
I have it's a black leather jacket event for me. Okay. Yeah. My standard,
What do you guys think? It's like we're the band, but it is a black tie event. So what's the protocol? What are you supposed to do?
we're wearing what we wear.
No,
We
we
have-
wear
wear
what
what
we
you
wear,
wear,
yeah.
but
I'll post pictures and give pictures to Jim. The year that I did it, I got to perform at the Veterans Ball on Trump's first inauguration.
That's
so
right.
8 years ago.
I looked like I was in the mafia, but it was fantastic.
Why did you look like you're in the mafia?
I had my hair all slicked back, and I was in a black
Ooh.
tux. I looked.
Was
I
that a
looked
phase
good.
you were going through, or was it just
No.
a special?
I was trying to look as slick as I could look.
Okay.
Yeah. We're in front of all these veterans. It was fantastic.
awesome.
We played with Gary LeVox, me and Wendell Mobley, and
That had to be amazing.
it was
Yeah.
it was absolutely amazing.
That's
was.
incredible. I got to tell you, we're looking forward to it. It is like a once in a lifetime thing, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't this is put aside politics, so you get to play for at the presidential inauguration. It's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
And quick backstory, this is cool. Tully knows this. My dad is a musician, was his whole life. 40 years ago to the day, 1984, he played Reagan's inaugural ball.
Wow,
Wow, that's
old man.
amazing.
Yep.
that's amazing.
It's pretty amazing,
It
right?
is so awesome.
So 40 years later, I'm going to be doing it, and it's pretty cool that we'll be able to have that.
I can't wait to hear the story
cool.
when y'all get back. I can't wait
Yeah.
to hear what you saw, what you heard, how it was.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Do y'all
Cash
always
out
have to wear
there.
tuxes?
We'll see Cash.
See Cash out there.
We'll see DC
yeah.
Drano out there.
Yeah.
We'll see a lot of our friends.
Are y'all gonna have to wear tuxes, right?
No.
I don't think we're wearing
I
tuxes.
don't think so. Maybe
No, they're artists. They'll be able to wear what they wear.
our version of a tux, which is boots, jeans, black t-shirt, black leather coat.
You'll wear the
That is my tux.
version Aldine tells you to wear.
That's the version we're wearing. He's not going to wear a tux.
But will
think?
the leather be extra squeaky?
But how
Because it's gonna be
badass.
really tight after the holidays. Will be like super squeaky.
It's really hard to do what we do up there in a tux, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
like,
that stance. you
it's
take,
hard. The
that would-
A-frame
yeah.
doesn't look as good.
Yeah,
in
when
it.
you're
True.
playing the Hicktown riff and Aldean's saying you can see the neighbor's butt crack, tuxedo just doesn't really work.
No, you're
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But we will be. We're going to look good. You know that.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt about that.
Oh,
That's a given.
Neil, when you were playing there, because Wade mentioned it earlier, and I remember it at that event. Didn't you have some like really special whiskey?
Oh, you're
At
talking
the-
about the dinner with the American Legion.
Yeah.
Yes, there
Yeah.
was
Can you tell?
probably.
Because I'm not sure if you've told that fully
I
or
can't
not.
remember if I ever told that story on here.
I don't think
don't
you remember
think you
much of
have.
any of it. So, but
And when you
if
say
can,
special whiskey, are you alluding to
It
the
was-
special whiskey?
It must have been some real old pappy.
Okay.
Because we're sitting at this table and we're at Del Frisco's in the private room upstairs, and there's probably 50 people up there. and-
give people a real quick thing what Pappy Van Winkle is.
It's a high dollar, old, rare, hard to get whiskey.
dollar. It's
real
almost
nice.
impossible to get.
Real nice.
Very expensive.
They may
Very
call
good.
it bourbon. I call it whiskey. I don't
Yeah.
know. But all you got to know is the word Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. We'd already had dinner and everybody already had drinks and everybody's full and we're laughing and we're talking. And I'm at the end of the table talking to I'm not at the end. I'm on the longest side of the table, but on the end talking to the head of the American Legion who's sitting at the head of the table. And everybody has already drank a little bit, but we're civilized and everything's good and everybody's happy. And all of a sudden, these two guys walk in with tuxedos. Speaking of tuxes, but they had white gloves on and they're carrying these bottles. So for them to be wearing gloves, it must be really
Like
rare.
white gloves?
Yes, and it must be expensive. Whatever bottle they're bringing in, it's got to be expensive.
Okay.
So they come in and I'm not really paying attention. Everybody looks at them, blah, 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 and they apparently pop them, pour a glass about this size, a regular size whiskey glass, and they pour it about half full and hand it to the guy at the end on the other end, and it makes its way around.
This one glass makes its way
Yeah,
around?
it makes its way around.
Okay.
Like they're going to let everybody sip on it. I mean, we're drinking. That's pre-COVID. Everybody's drinking after the show. And so it makes it to me, and apparently my wife is sitting on my left, and she taps me on the shoulder, and I'm talking to the head over here, and she taps me and hands me this glass, and I just smoke it.
Where
I didn't
are
even-
you in line? Like how many down?
I didn't even think. Well, apparently nobody had drank any because the glass was still half full.
Of course
I mean,
you
the-
did.
that-
And
shot
I
is
just
worth
took
hundreds of
it,
dollars.
and
Yes,
like
yeah.
I just grabbed it in mid conversation and just smoked it. Boom, and I slammed it on the table, and I went back to talking to her, and I'm just
well, anyway,
yeah. Well, anyway, and the room went quiet, and I kind of turned around real slow, and I'm like, what? What? And they go, dude. And I thought they were like, they were looking at me because it was so expensive, and I just smoked it. I don't know how much that glass was worth.
Yeah.
It's a $500 glass of whiskey or whatever it was. And I said, what? And then somebody, I don't remember who it was, they go, dude, that's 144 proof. And I went, well.
no, that was 140.
Yeah, it was.
And I said, on top of everything else I'd had to drink that evening, I just said, well, we're fitting to find out what I'm made of. And the night went on, and we're talking. Go ahead and get that.
Oh, we got a little Latin
Yeah,
music or
we'll
something.
wait.
Sorry about that.
No, it's probably the head of the American Legion. And I don't know, about 20 minutes later, I start feeling like I'm not, but I start feeling like I'm sinking into the floor of the room, and I'm going through my chair. I'm not drunk. I'm just heavy.
That's what he gives. He said that so many times. He goes, Kalo, and I wasn't even drunk. I was just heavy.
I
couldn't
wasn't.
walk.
And I looked over at Lana real slow, and I go, I feel so heavy. And I just kept going. And then about that time, the dinner was over and everything was over, and I just kind of stood up and I just peeled myself up. I wasn't stumbling or nothing. It was amazing how awesome I am.
That's how you remember it.
It was a
No.
100.
I remember everything. I remember the walk out of the room. I remember the walk down the stairs. I remember walking through Del Frisco's and seeing some famous people and walking out in the street because the hotel was just across the street. I remember everything, but everything. It felt like it took a year to get there.
144 proof.
Yeah, it was. You can light it up. I mean,
You guys ever had absinthe?
I've had a sip of it.
I know
Got the
we've
snake.
had absinthe.
Got the snake in the bottom.
We were overseas, because I don't even think it's legal
The
here.
death adder.
Yeah.
Is that the stuff you're talking about? It's got the death adder in the bottom.
It's
I've had that.
Yeah.
But that's not even. You can't. That's not even drinkable.
It's actually. It didn't seem like it was
No, I mean,
drinkable.
you could. Yeah, you
Everything was
But we
drinkable
did.
back then.
But we did.
Good gracious! But anyway, that's my
Was
first
that inauguration
yeah.
night? The night before?
That was
or
the
after?
night of the whatever night the Veterans Ball was.
Okay.
Because they had four. There was like
there's
four main
there's a few.
balls. Yeah, that go on inauguration night. It's either I can't remember if it was inauguration night or the night before.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it was the night of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let's backtrack like a week or so ago. We hadn't really talked about this, but we had a guy on, did like a 10-minute short that we put out on our channel, Nick Bostic. And this was the guy that went in to the burning house, like he just saw it and he had this instinct to go in. It was late at night. He ended up saving, and I hate that I don't remember, it was either 4 or
think it was
5
five.
children.
It's 4 or 5 counting the baby, I guess.
Yeah, so 5. And we just had him on, but we haven't talked about it actually since we had him on. Do you guys have any thoughts about that? It's a pretty amazing story, and it happened a couple of years ago, but it just got brought to light again through Trump Jr. and DC Drano and all that.
Well, that's why we started the podcast.
Yeah.
To hear from people like that,
Yeah.
and in that small town, get your back mentality. Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty much sums up why we started this.
Yeah.
And Kayla, you had mentioned that, I think, on that podcast. Like this is he's one of the reasons why we started it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was
Small
great.
town American hero like that. He deserved. He deserved the Medal of Freedom, and the Medal of Honor.
Yeah, is that what he
And
got?
wait, it was. He didn't get anything. He should have been the Medal of Freedom because I know that Drano posted that
Right.
when Biden awarded some of the people that really didn't deserve the Medal of Freedom.
Right, and that's what Trump
and the Medal of
Jr. was
Honor and
alluding
and
to.
it's guys like Nick Bostic that deserve the Medal of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Small town citizens that don't think and run into burning buildings and not thinking of himself
At
to
all.
save somebody else. They deserve those kind of medals. I wish those medals were reserved for people like him.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, because it's so easy, like we we're talking about with him, because he barely saw what he thought was a little bit of a flame, and it wasn't even a roaring fire at the time. But he kept looking in his rear view, thinking, was that a fire? And then he goes back and everything. But it's not like he's in a restaurant and you see something happening right there and you're kind of forced to make a decision. Yes, I'm going to do something. This guy turned around, slammed on his brakes and turned around, to go back into a house in a neighborhood he's not familiar with.
Man, I say this all the time, and I'm half joking. It's like, I'm not that good of a person.
You would do it.
I don't know.
I know you would.
And you
You
don't
would.
know
Yeah,
until
yes,
you're
you
in
would.
that situation. But
You'd do it.
it's commendable that, adversity shows character. And in that moment,
Yeah.
that was his instinct.
Yeah.
And he didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't know if there was even anybody in that house. He didn't know if there were kids in there. Then their parents weren't home. He didn't know.
And
He just reacted.
Yeah,
It's
the thing is-
amazing.
and a lot of people might have missed it. Not looking as, that house is on fire, I'm just going to drive on home. They might have looked or not even seen it, or just go by and say, maybe it's a campfire in the background, backyard or whatever. But like you say, his instinct drove him back.
And, think about it. It's like you're not breaking into a house, but you, in essence, are. You don't know what's.
I know.
You don't know what's.
And he
the
went in the
inside
back
of that.
door.
You don't think.
Right? It's just, man, it's amazing.
Yep.
It's an amazing story. And you guys are mentioning about the song is like, sometimes a song gets a little bit of negative connotation to it. But that's really it. Mm-hmm. And, there's a lot of defense in the song, like, hey, if somebody's doing this, hey, we'll try that in a small town, see what happens to you. But this kind of act is like we're talking about, hey, try that in a small town. It's
what
beautiful.
he did put so much of a bigger meaning on our song and the title
100%. And
than what it really
Well,
was
it's where it
originally
began, though. Like
That's right.
The
is-
whole idea
yes.
came because we didn't like innocent people getting hit on the sidewalk for no apparent reason. Then the song became what it was. But that's where it started. Was we were irritated from the innocent people getting hurt for no reason, and nobody would do anything about it. So.
But I think we should do this because that's such a great story, and good stories like that don't get covered enough. Like if you're listening, you're watching, and you know of good stories like that in your town, send them to us.
Please.
Yeah.
DM us, send it to us. Like we will bring those to light because those need to be brought to
Amen.
light.
Absolutely.
So please do that. If you're listening, get a hold of us. Jim, how do they get a hold of us, buddy?
Try that in a smalltown.com.
Try that. Boy, it's that easy.
It's that easy.
Try that on smalltown.com.
We had to buy it back.
More
from
Evan
Caleb.
Williams, please.
More eggnog.
Did we get any? Did it show up?
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
get
We got to
anything,
take a
did we?
break first.
No, yeah, I'll do it on the break. I'll
we
go
take a
down.
break?
I'll go
I
down and
mean,
get the bottle.
that I want it now, obviously. But
Of course you do.
but I'm
Where's your
talking
tech? Did you not bring your tech
I
with
know,
you?
but I'm talking about the shameless plug that we did. Did we, Jen? Did we
I don't
hear
think it made
anything?
any headway.
No headway.
Nothing.
It's kind of like the RV.
Man.
I thought this was achievable.
Can we get an RV stocked with Evan Williams?
Are you
eggnog?
kidding me?
It is a seasonal drink.
Well, hey, let's do
But
this.
it wasn't. I was asking in season.
I know.
Let's do
I know, I
this
agree.
because you've got my palate
Yeah.
going. Let's do
God,
that. Let's
you
go take a
guys.
break. Listen to these words from our sponsors. Like we told you before, hey, it's easy to hit the skip button. I've done it. Just be with us here for 30 seconds. Give us a listen. We'll be back on the other side.
Original Brands is starting a new era in American domestic premium beer. Launched on July 4th, 2023, with the mission of promoting patriotism, unity, and the celebration of the adventurous American spirit, Original Glory American Pilsner is the first in the OG line. It's a crisp, refreshing domestic beer. We also introduced OG Light, under 90 calories and only 2 carbs. Join the movement at drinkoriginalbrands.com because freedom is worth drinking to. Drinkoriginalbrands.com.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go, put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded. Of course. I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
All right, guys, we're back at the Patriot Mobile Studios. This is the Try That in Small Town podcast. I don't even know if we introduced ourselves, but we got Neil, we got Kelly.
What are we doing with first,
Tully.
first
Hello,
names?
Kurt.
We're doing
This
first
is
names?
Kurt.
No. We have nicknames, and I like Captain.
Thrash.
I like Captain for you.
Nice. Thrash,
is that
Kayla,
all
TK.
bad?
I'm Kurt. We've got Evan here with us.
Yeah.
Did you bring Evan?
I brought it up because Tully wanted a shot.
Yeah, it's really
I know
good.
we're post holidays,
And-
post Christmas, but the eggnog is good all year long.
Look at that bottle. And
I don't
then
know
look
if it's
at
I don't know if it's good all year
Tully's
long.
cup. I
There
think
he
he's
is.
getting more than a shot.
The future of the Titans.
Hey,
He's gonna kill you one day.
He is going to kill me.
He's gonna kill you.
Well,
I hope they trade him quick.
I don't think they're going to trade him. Nobody's going to trade for Will Levis.
He's not. He's no.
Well, they got a new. Didn't they fire the GM or something?
did fire the GM.
Now, what does that mean for us? Is that a good move?
Well, it depends. I mean, it's subjective.
Okay.
But he did draft Will Levis, so I guess it's a good move they got rid of him. Hey, so the Titans do have the number 1 pick. Real quickly, are they or should they draft a QB?
Are you kidding? Is that a serious question?
It is.
You know that's. I mean,
Are they going to draft a QB?
Well,
Either a QB or a long snapper.
but it's not. But it's not an amazing QB class, right? Like next year will be better than this year.
But that is true.
right? And so that's what people have been saying.
People are saying the best player in the draft is Travis Hunter, who's the
Correct.
kid from Colorado who plays both ways.
Yes.
I thought somebody'd make a joke there.
It was low hanging fruit.
I was waiting for somebody to make the
I'm
joke.
cleaning up my acting 25. Go ahead.
They need a QB. I think you gotta.
They got to draft a QB.
You have to. And sometimes a QB, I mean, in my, how I feel about drafting QBs, but you can find a good QB deep in the draft.
You can.
It's all, do they have the eyes there to find it? Because they're in there. Look at a Brady, a Brock Purdy, those guys. I mean, it's all system related, but we need a QB to build around. At least the Titans do. I mean, it's been rough.
Too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been way too long.
Yeah.
Have y'all heard the possibility maybe Aaron Rodgers for just a minute?
I mean, I've heard people say that.
No.
I haven't heard anything that makes me think it's a real
I've just heard
possibility.
rumblings, which
I would
It'd be fun.
I would love it.
It would be fun.
You can say
Are
what you want
serious?
to about Aaron Rodgers.
It would set us back another 5 years.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know. He's a winner, though.
Yeah,
I mean-
wait. We're talking about drafting a young QB, bringing Rodgers in for 1 year to mentor.
Yeah.
Where's that money going
He
to come
could take
from?
him on this trip over.
That's a good
That I
point.
don't
Where's
know.
that money
That I
going
don't know.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll say this. Have you guys seen the Netflix thing?
Yes.
The Enigma?
Yes.
You can
started
say
to
what you
watch
want about Aaron Rodgers. He's very unique.
Yeah.
He is his own man. But I was interested. I thought the thing was really interesting.
It wasn't. I mean, I wanted a little more football.
It's not that.
and a little
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
of the
Ayahuasca.
But hey, I love watching him play football. Even now since the Achilles. I mean, he's not the same. It's obvious to me. But he's 500 touchdown passes now. He's an elite company.
He throws the ball like very few people have ever.
I love
thrown
watching
the
him
He
ball.
flicks the
Yeah.
ball. He flicks
Would you guys want him on the podcast? You think we could get Aaron Rodgers?
I
on the
would.
podcast?
I mean,
Yeah.
Be amazing.
I mean, I had a chance to be around him for a little bit, a few times, and Neil and I both really through Brad Paisley's. They were buddies, and got to smoke a cigar with him, drink beer, and listen to a lot of his stuff. We talked about a lot of things, like UFOs and everything else. It was really interesting. But he's to me, he was a really nice guy, super normal. Been to his house after a game, Monday Night Football, that he played. And we sipped whiskey, and he sat there and he watched the entire game. And we all watched it, and he commented on every place. I should have done that here. Should have done that here. And we just watched it.
That's great.
Oh, no, that's
pool,
cool
drink
as crap.
whiskey, and it's really fun.
that's
And
like
and
bucket list stuff.
And he did not. He wasn't sitting there getting hammered. Nobody was. He just kind of slow sipping and just watching. He goes, oh, God, look at that. So I totally missed him. Or he'd say, that's how you run that play. It's just really cool. To me, he was a fantastic guy.
Bro, I would fan geek over that actually because that's cool.
Right.
I love
It was
watching
really
good
fun.
quarterbacks like that, like the greats. The Rodgers, the Brady. Right now I love watching Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Because
Burrows.
Joe Burrow is in that.
He's got it.
He to me, he's that classic QB. Like, you can have your scrambling QBs, take them. Take your Jaden Daniels.
I know.
Take them Mars. Because you know what?
So with you. I'm with
Boy,
you.
I'm going down in flames.
No, I'm so with you on that one.
Really?
I am not
Yeah,
a fan.
absolutely.
I can't.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter if they win. They're not
You don't
gonna
think
win.
that's the way of the future?
Well, I mean, maybe a way to a winning season. I don't know. It depends.
I'm not promoting it. I'm just
Let me ask you,
asking.
do you think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles can win a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts at the helm?
I'm not I like Jalen Hurts as a leader. I don't think he's an amazing quarterback. And I don't think the coach is amazing either.
I don't either. And thank you for saying that. He annoys the crap out of me.
I haven't watched enough to know. I'll listen
You
to
can
you
just
guys.
tell that the players, me looking at it, like, it feels like they don't really respect him. The coach is a little
weird.
It's a little weird. It's not like when you see Belichick coach, he's in charge.
How about this? How about Dan Campbell and the Lions? You guys, you got to be a fan of that team, right?
Yeah.
Who is not a fan of Dan Campbell. You guys don't watch NFL, do you?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't watch that
I
much.
watch football.
But
I mean, we're college
the
guys.
Lions,
but we watch.
that's a good organization to root for.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Anybody
That's a
can
football
anybody in the NFL can just watch the team play and then go follow them into the locker room and see what's going on in the locker room. See what the vibe's like and see what the atmosphere and the air is like in the locker room. It's all you got to do in the NFL. And now it's creeping its way into college like that too, but the NFL especially, just go to the locker room after a game or before a game. You can tell who's going to win.
You know, Neil, I thought about something a couple weeks ago because I don't know, a few episodes ago, you were talking about on the back of the helmets, things that annoyed you in the NFL, like the end racism and things like that. I thought about that and we talked about it and I wondered, you know, is it just things that you pick up on or that other people pick up on that they don't like, but if it was something that you liked on the back of the helmet, would it be different? Like if it said, Jesus saves. Would that be an issue because you're saying, hey, they're just putting that on everybody. I just wish they'd play ball. I'm just kind of curious about that. Can they have anything? You know what I mean?
You remember this though? You remember when Tebow came out and he would kneel and do a prayer after he scored? He got hammered for doing that.
But he did because that's who he was.
You're right. And it's an interesting question, Kalo. It's like, are we annoyed because we don't necessarily subscribe to what they're saying?
Yeah.
And if it did say, hey, praise God, John 3:16, or whatever.
Yeah, and then if we relate to, like if it says in racism, you think, I'm not a racist. that offends me because that makes you think that I am. But if it says something that I'm in line with, like, hey, go to church on Sundays, or
go Vols.
Go Vols up and say, that's great. So anyway, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I would rather them instead of keeping the division and the divisiveness going, because that's all that's doing.
There's a difference with that.
Whether they realize it or not, that's what's going on. I would rather them help Nick Bostic on the back of their helmet.
But you wish other players would do. You know what I mean? Like do something like that. Like if you were playing, you might have that on the back of your helmet. It would be cool if you have players having different stuff on there, which they should.
And if you're offended, so what?
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah. Go to your safe space if you're offended. Because Jesus saves on the back of somebody's helmet is going to offend somebody.
Correct. That was my point.
There's nothing more offensive in the world than the.
That was my point. It's not going to offend you, but it will offend somebody.
Absolutely.
So I'm just saying it's.
I wonder, do some people think that's divisive?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I guess that's weird
because
to me.
to some people it's narrow-minded.
Well, you don't have to go there. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to. But things like what we had, Nick Bostic, things that matter, real world stuff, things that are really happening. If you wanted to paint that in the end zone.
Yeah.
Let's do something about veterans homelessness. Let's paint that in the end zone instead of end racism, something that is like so minute and so unrealistically. You know what I'm saying? It's not even going on.
Yeah.
If it is, like I said on the last podcast or one of the podcasts, if it is going on, show us where it is, and we've got your back. But that's yet to happen.
Well, you can paint Daniel Penny in the end zone.
Yeah. Speaking of
New York
try
subway,
that in a small town, big town.
Yeah, the Marine.
Bring up that story because
saved a lot of people. Yeah, I mean it's been a minute, but he's a Marine, and you had a guy on the subway who was black. But he was saying things that like I don't care if I live today, and just crazy stuff, and being violent toward other people, and so and again I don't know it. It's been through court and everything, but Daniel subdued him, got him on the ground. Other people did too, black and white, helping just hold the guy down, from hurting somebody or himself. Right. Ends up going to court and all this stuff, and he could have went to jail. For a long time for helping people. And he, in interviews that are public, said, would you do that again, knowing, the legal trouble that you could have faced and did face? And he said, absolutely, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I thought he could injure somebody and I was there to prevent him from injuring someone and I didn't do anything. I'd absolutely do it again.
And that's just another example of like what we try to do and what we're trying to highlight. That is it, right?
Yes.
Helping somebody in need, like when it might not be easy, but to him it was.
Yeah.
That's just like, that's his instinct. That's
Yeah,
what he's
and
gonna do.
Well, think about it.
obviously,
Think about if. Sorry, Caleb, but think about if your, son or daughter or mom or was on that subway.
Yeah.
you'd want him to. You'd want someone to do something.
100%.
You know what I mean? And that's all he did. And the fact that people, even for a second, tried to second guess that was upsetting a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously, I want to say while we're on, obviously, unfortunate that the guy died.
Of course.
But you could just tell from everything that was not Daniel. That wasn't his intent. Is to kill the man. That was not his intent.
Of course.
Everybody,
Absolutely.
everybody.
It just happened in the course of it, and and you hate that for that guy who obviously he needed help long before he got in that subway, and he didn't have help. So, it's just a really bad situation. But the good part of it is you had somebody, trying actually to help the guy who ended up passing from hurting others, hurting himself, and and thankfully, a jury of his peers, saw that he was doing a good thing and didn't mean any ill intent. So to Daniel Penny.
Well, we're fixing it. I think the whole temperature is going to change in the next 4 years.
You think?
It's already started.
Seems like it has.
He hasn't even been inaugurated, and everything is starting to shift. Trudeau, look at that.
That's so interesting,
Yeah.
right?
Gulf of America.
There's a lot of
The
things.
Gulf of America.
Right.
We're trying to.
That's pretty cool.
We're going to attain Greenland. It's
Greenland.
Canada.
fantastic.
I mean, it's amazing.
But everybody's talking about it, and I'm just hoping the NFL turns it around. I hope they change their tune. I really, really do. I hope we don't have to stare down at all those lies anymore.
I don't think, honestly, that people even, I know it bugs you and I think most people are just watching the game.
That's right.
Why it's still there, I'm not sure. Seeing the end of racism written in huge letters I'm with you. Like there's people go there to forget about that stuff. They don't want to think about it.
Exactly.
It's not existing.
Exactly.
And I agree with you that there's no reason to create tension.
Yeah.
I know.
Because it doesn't, I'm not seeing it.
No. On a positive note, the Titans fans didn't have to look at it much.
That's true.
We didn't spend a lot of time in the end zone.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do now.
There's a blessing in there somewhere.
There's a blessing in there somewhere.
Hey, so Jim just sent us a text. And do you remember our friend, the Amazing DV? Is that what his name?
Yeah, Amazing DV.
The Amazing DV?
Yeah. My hater.
Well, I don't think he's your hater.
No, he's not my hater.
But I think he wants to come on. I think he wants to do like a 10-minute conversation with him.
Really?
Okay.
Does he want to
What's he want to talk
to
about?
Neil?
Yeah.
And-
It might just be a one-on-one.
I know.
I don't know. Have it out. I don't think I don't know.
Be careful, Amazing.
Yeah, watch what you wish
I'll
for.
break out some scripture on you, bro. Be careful.
Nah, I think that'd be fun.
We may want to start that one remotely, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
I don't know
we ought to
I
get-
don't know if you bring him right in. I mean, he has said some pretty.
Maybe we ought to bring
know.
Ed on with him.
Ooh, yeah, to
our-
counterbalance.
Yeah, to counterbalance it. Like
Yeah.
maybe he can be the narrator.
It's funny.
We'll just let that.
I like that.
What else we got? Have we got anything fun?
Landman.
Oh,
Okay, this
Haven't
is
seen it
good.
yet.
This is good. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if I want to. Okay. I was excited to start it.
Yep.
I was
Because I'm
too.
hearing,
was
gotta watch it. I love Billy Bob.
Yep.
Love John Hamm. Anyway, got 3 in. I'm out. Maybe it turns a corner. I don't know.
I'm with you.
It seemed like it was really trying so hard.
I'm with you.
I don't know.
I think it was you that brought up the word campy, and that's pretty spot on. It's like the only way I could describe it is like Dallas for people that are pretty old.
But I remember watching Dallas though.
if you rewatch Dallas,
You talking about
but that was in
JR?
the 80s.
yes,
though,
I am
too.
talking about JR.
But it wasn't. That what was that 84, 85, 86, and
Yeah, I don't
those.
know.
I mean,
Long time ago.
this this felt like it was.
I guess my point is it's kind of a soap opera. And if you watch soap operas, they're like, okay, that's not believable. Okay, this person isn't a good actor. Okay, this isn't.
Yeah. I mean,
but
yeah.
There was so many things.
I watch it for Billy Bob.
I do too.
And he has a couple
that's why I
monologues
watched it.
that are
It's
amazing.
And there's a couple parts in the first couple episodes that I loved. Because I was like, okay, I'm going to keep going because there's bits in episodes that I really, like you said, there's monologue and there's just a couple scenes like out the oil rig when it explodes.
The whole the bit that he goes through, well, why we need oil. I don't know if you got to that episode. It's like a 2 or 3 minute thing. He's explaining to one of the lawyers.
Let's talk about what really makes it bad.
Okay.
At least for me, is no daughter talks to their father that way.
Well,
And
no
it's
daughter
so,
of ours.
It was so raunchy and so over the top.
I actually disagree.
Oh.
I bet there are daughters that talk to their
Well, if
dads.
they
I bet there are.
If there are out there, I've never met them.
I know it's not your daughters, but I bet there are.
I mean, I was just like, I can't listen to this. This is like, I don't know anybody that talks to their father that way, or a father that actually takes it and just kind of, shrugs it off. I'm like, what did she just say to him? And
What's the
like
best-
it's like they make it like that's the way the youth talks to their parents today. And I'm like, oh my God, it was awful.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be horrified if
I got
that
totally turned off, and it got so raunchy and so it was just like I couldn't take it anymore.
Okay, what is the best show you're watching right now?
Well, just finished a great one.
Okay.
Mayor of Kingstown.
So you've been telling us about this, which is, by the way, another Taylor Sheridan
and
show.
that's why I was disappointed with Landman.
Yeah.
Because it's not even in the same category. And I'm not just talking about, I know Landman's a different show.
Yeah.
But the writing and if you watch Mayor of Kingstown, it is so now it's and obviously Mayor of Kingstown is more the kind of show I like. It's gritty,
Yeah.
more crime related. It's cool. It's really good. But that's great. That's a
I'll give Taylor Sheridan a pass because it's probably a lot like writing songs. You're not going to write,
Yeah.
a standard every time you go in the room.
What's your favorite Taylor Sheridan show?
He didn't direct it, but I think he wrote Sicario.
Yeah.
And
you were
that's
talking about that
amazing.
before.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And I was a big fan of Yellowstone too. It had its yah moments.
Yellowstone was a little soap opera-ish at times too, but it was great.
I'll treat him like a song, like I would, writing songs. You're not going to hit a smash every time you write a movie.
Yeah.
Just like writing a song, you're not going to write a smash every time you.
and
do
he's
it.
on fire.
But he's good. He's consistent and he's good.
So-
He's really good. He knows what he wants and most of the time he writes a good one.
You know what we should do? We should be pitching songs to Taylor Sheridan for his shows.
You know what?
Good idea.
Before I forget, you know what?
Hold on.
Me?
You don't think we should be?
No, we should be.
Okay.
But before I forget, what bugged me about Landman the most, before I want to make it clear, is that because there was some really great parts in it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it just be all good?
Yeah. Well,
Like some was great, some parts are great. Anyway, it's frustrating.
Well, it's kind of like a song. Like you don't want every line of the song to be great. You won't know what the great ones are. They got to stand out. You got to write some average lines for the good ones to pop out. Right?
I don't know.
I'm still surprised that you didn't say Friends was your favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. But now,
That's awesome. So
as
what
far,
is
but
your
as far as a
favorite?
throwback, though, we were talking about it earlier. I got my wife Rachel into watching Breaking Bad. She's never seen Breaking Bad. And
anybody
I
that's
saw it
not seen
so
Breaking
long
Bad,
ago.
start today.
One of the
Yeah.
greatest written story lines
Start
ever.
It's
today.
amazing.
Start to
Ever.
finish.
It's amazing.
It is.
And it actually got me into watching. That was the first series I'd ever watched, and that got me into watching series.
Heisenberg.
Breaking Bad. So did you guys watch Tully? Because I didn't know it at the time. Tully first turned me on to Breaking Bad because I didn't watch it when it was out. And then it went to Better Call Saul,
Oh, yeah.
which
Yeah.
I thought Better Call Saul was amazing
Great.
as
That's
well.
great.
So,
Yeah.
That's fun.
so that's what you guys are watching, Breaking Bad.
Currently. Yeah.
All right.
We got a long way to go.
I'm gonna shift gears here.
Okay.
I want to talk about some of the writers in town. I don't really know how to get into this segment, but
Well, you're just doing it.
Okay.
But the other day, I was at BMG, and I was over there with y'all and David Lee Murphy.
Yeah.
I don't know, what was it, a couple weeks ago or something. I don't remember when it was, but finishing up a song, and we go out into the lobby. And we're all standing out there, and here come these new writers out of these writers' rooms. And it's been on my mind, guys, and I cannot shake it.
I love that it has
Because I know where I was when I was a young writer, and I came to town. I know where my head was, and I knew stuff. These kids come over there, got their chest bowed out, and we're all sitting there talking. Yeah. We blah blah music row bullshit talk, and they look at me and David Lee, mainly at David Lee, and they go, "So what do y'all do?"
No.
Yes, I was standing there.
Hold on. I don't remember this.
You weren't out there yet.
You were probably still behind the computer.
Yeah. It was quite a sight.
And these
Hold on. So Tully was there, and they're fawning over him because, of course. And
well,
then they asked you.
Well, they saw the hair and they thought, okay, he does
on the
something.
mural on the wall.
They just hiss on the huge mural.
But
on
they
the
look
wall.
at me and David Lee like, "So what do y'all do?"
They did not ask that.
Yes, they did.
And these are the new breed of country music songwriters in town, people.
They asked
To our listeners out there, this is where their heads are. They don't know their history. They haven't done their research, but they want to come into town and take over town writing country music. And they look at David Lee Murphy and say, "Well, what do you do?" They didn't have a clue who he was.
What did David say?
And they're not supposed to know who I am. I haven't been out there, but you know, and when you introduce yourself and say your name, and it still doesn't click.
I think,
And you want to be a country music songwriter?
Wow.
if my memory's right, I think David said something like, "Man, I've been here a few weeks."
You know,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course he did.
And he started just, being as cool as he can,
Oh, nee, I didn't even know that happened.
Bro, if you'd have been out there, you might have gone off. But everybody was kind of, and then Lee Miller and Brett James, and
Yeah.
they come walking out, and they don't know who they are either. And I'm just like, they're in a room writing with another artist over here somewhere, and these young writers don't know. When I came to town, I knew who Bob McDill was.
Yeah.
I knew who
Yeah.
Harlan Howard was. I knew all the greats that came before us, like 2 generations worth. I knew who they were.
I actually think
because I listened and learned, and I before I got to Nashville, I knew who the guys were that paved the way.
Yeah.
These numbnuts that come to town now don't have a freaking clue who paved the way.
I think there's a little bit of a lack. I don't want to say it too harshly. I'm going to say lack of respect. I don't mean it that harshly, but
It's unintentional, though.
It's unintentional, but there is a little bit of it, and I think the reason is I think streaming. And this goes for new artists too. I think it's created a false reality for a young writer, young artist, where it makes them think they've achieved more than they really have.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to sound harsh with this, but
Until they get their paycheck.
I see it in young artists, especially young artists who may have had 2 or 3 songs streaming, and maybe they have a song streaming 500,000 a week, and to them, that means that they're making it or have made it, and
And this is unfortunate, but I guess true, whether it's however you want to categorize it, but they write different songs than you guys were writing 20 years ago. I mean, I think we had this conversation on a podcast a long time ago. One of your best written songs, do you think that would be a hit today? And maybe not, because it's a different song that becomes a hit today.
But you got to know.
It's a little bit more of a jingle today.
And I didn't bring this up to say these guys should know who we are.
No,
Not
no.
at all.
I know.
It's just they should be more interested in the field that they're getting into.
1,000%.
You know, they should want to know the history. These young kids should want to learn about the history of Nashville and the history of Music Row and the history of songwriting. If this is what you're going to do, you should want that. And why the lack of desire to know that is not there, I don't know.
Well, but I
don't-
mean, sorry, go ahead.
No,
Finish.
I
your
didn't bring
point,
it
sorry.
up for that. I didn't bring it up because I'm pissed they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
No,
Not
you're
at
just
all.
talking about anybody that gets into a field should understand the history of
But you
that
can
field.
imagine the look on my face when that kid. I thought he was kidding at first. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
And he said, "What do y'all do?"
Oh, it's classic.
And I'm
Oh
like,
my God,
I know
it
it
was
was
classic.
classic. You got
Yeah.
dust on the bottle standing right here, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Are you? Oh shit, he's serious. This kid does not know."
Well, it's kind of interesting because part of there's a few things this for me. Part of it is they don't know how hard it is yet. They haven't been doing it for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and still making a living at writing songs, which is an act of God in itself. Making money writing songs is almost impossible.
True.
But somehow it's happening, right?
Yeah.
So they're still in that honeymoon phase of like, oh man, everything we write is going to get recorded. And they're really happy.
I'm going to argue with you.
But hang on.
I can't wait to argue
I
with
know,
you on
I know.
but it's going to happen really quick.
But hang
so
on,
finish
hang
fast.
on. The other thing is, it's a different generational. We would look at it maybe, it's a lack of respect. It's just kind of the way younger people are now. They want to do it themselves. They don't want to write a hit song with older guys. They want to write it with their crew.
Yeah, the thing about it is they don't want to learn how to write a great song.
Well, they don't want
that's the
I
truth.
think they don't want their name on with a successful writer because it would be viewed as the veterans
They're
wrote it.
piggybacking.
But even
Right.
at that,
So I think it's part of it, which there's nothing wrong
even
with
if
that.
they didn't
Kinda
want to
kudos
write with
them,
anybody that's made it or been there and done that, even if they didn't, it seems to me that they would want to learn the craft a little bit better and learn the history of the craft a little bit
But if they're
better.
getting songs
'Cause
recorded
this
without
is
it,
this is the only new generation. This is the only generation that I've seen that is behaving this way.
I agree.
It's
I agree
the-
with that.
It's the only generation.
I agree. I agree
It's
with you.
come along that does not give a shit who paved the way or how they got or why you're even in that freaking room.
but it's kind of working for them. You know what I mean? Like they're getting songs
Well, they
recorded
think it's
and they're
working.
getting on the
They
radio.
think it's working for them.
No, they're not. So here's my. This is what when everything went sideways with COVID, and we went to. Remember, the whole industry changed. We talked about it with Tyler Farr. Everything changed. I'm with Neil. I see this new generation of artists and writers and artist writers. They think putting a song out. We have all these platforms now. You can release music as much as you want. The labels sign everything. Labels are signing more acts than ever, right? And they're putting in their mind. This is how I feel about it. They put songs out. They stream. They get to go to social media. They get attention on TikTok, Instagram. And in their mind, they're successful. Okay, they're famous in their mind. They are doing it. Where in just a few years ago, okay, you had a radio hit, you had a video, and it meant something to hear yourself on the radio. I see people all the time, young artists who have never been on the radio, who, I mean, you'd think they'd have 20 hits. I mean, the way they're acting. I think it's just social media driving it and like streaming. Like they think they know how to do it. I see it on the road with new acts. I see it, new writers can't tell them anything, but still I'll say it though. If you're a new artist and you're streaming 500,000 a week and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get a booking agent, go try to sell some hard tickets and find out what exactly that means. Cause that's the other thing. Like what does that mean? So anyway, I'm not trying to sound like an old grumpy,
Well, we are.
man, but
No,
I would agree with Neil though, Kayla, and I mean, I feel like this new generation, I feel like they aren't even aware of how it was done. Like they just think they know they got it figured out.
Well, Kayla and I have written with guys who we've written with some of these young people that, I mean, they got booked with us and still did not have a clue what was in the room.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, see, that's weird to me.
It was
Because their publisher set them up with us because the publisher knew, but then when
They didn't even
I'm
do the
telling you, like
homework.
didn't dawn on them.
I will say it's interesting.
Like, we're like,
because we've been around for a while and been blessed and we've had hits and stuff and very thankful for it. If I'm writing with a person tomorrow and I don't know their name and I don't know what they've done, I will Google them before I get to that appointment, I want to know.
Oh my gosh, of course.
They have hits
It's so
and stuff.
easy. That's
but,
the
but
thing.
what I'm telling you, and this is in agreement, with this.
Yeah.
I will say there's not all, because there's a couple that are very respectful to me as a man, I'm a big fan and things like that. But the majority, they don't Google anybody.
That blows my mind. I actually can't
so
even
much,
believe
so
that.
much so. It was about 5 years ago,
Just to
but
check out who you're getting with
it's
today,
my
yeah.
favorite story. And I won't say who it was, but it was me and
you
another
have
guy.
to.
No,
Let's
I
go
can't. No, I
viral.
don't want to do that.
We gotta go viral.
But this is what's funny. And we're writing with a guy, and these two guys were buddies, but the one buddy knew me, and the other buddy, apparently they hadn't talked, and we're just talking about ideas, throwing around like who's looking, stuff like that. And the younger guy said, so I think I've got a Brad Paisley hit. And I was thinking, well, obviously, and had a lot of Brad hits, and we're buddies and everything. And I thought he was going to, say, hey, Kelly, can you think you can get this idea to him? But he didn't say that. He said, I've got a thing. I think it's a for sure Brad Paisley hit. I said, it's just like him. I said, I think he would say every word of it. It says, anybody know a way we can get to him?
Oh,
So do you think that was like his way to just not ask you blatantly?
No. And his buddy said, dude, you're kidding, right?
Yeah, like it's
he
a
goes,
joke.
you're right with it. It's
Oh,
like-
really?
He goes, oh, you know Brad? And at that point, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I know. Yeah, we live. He's my next door neighbor. And we had 10 number ones. But it was really funny, and he was innocent. It wasn't disrespectful. He just didn't know. You know what I mean? Like, so it
Man,
wasn't purpose.
and that was my bother.
It wasn't purposeful.
I know it. That's my bother. It's like they moved to town without any knowledge, without any history, without any learning, without any research, and just jump right in the fray.
That seems weird to me, though. If you're going into it right,
But that was the one that really caught me. I went, wow.
that's funny.
I've said wow a lot in the last 5 years in this
It's
town.
pretty funny.
It's changed so much. It's, see it every week. New artists come, and you can look a couple years ago, that new artists that were streaming, that are in social media, that are no longer hardly streaming. They're still on social media, trying to be an artist.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it. It takes so much more than just, okay, put a song out and okay, you got 100,000 Instagram followers or you TikTok or whatever you're doing, but to actually do it is still, there's a whole nother level.
There's
to
such
get
a small, there's such a small percentage of success in the writing world in Nashville.
Oh.
And there's even a smaller percentage of guys who are still doing it as long as we've been doing it.
I had a young
We're
writer.
still hanging in there.
Check this out.
For sure.
I had a young,
Amen.
young,
And still like it.
a
we
young
still love
writer
it.
say something to me a couple months ago. She goes, yeah, I've got some stuff streaming. I've heard that radio pays a little bit more.
No, somebody. I mean, you can't
No
be
lie.
that oblivious.
They are. And I said, yes, that's true. How do I get to radio? I'm like, okay. I don't even know how
Wow.
to speak. What are you talking about? Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they don't really know.
This
Anybody
town.
got anything else? It was a good one. Kind of jumped all over. I like it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Did you get some eggnog, Tully?
No, but I think he's
No.
going after.
Yeah, Mike.
It's still cold. Evan Williams, if you're out there,
Yeah.
we still love your product.
Yeah. I mean,
Even after the holidays.
we've been hitting you up, Evan. Where's the response?
Yeah,
Come on,
baby?
Dub.
another sad no go on our no tattoo for Kurt,
No RV.
no RV,
Yeah.
and
No Evan
We
Williams.
can't muster up 5 bottles of Evan
Yeah.
Williams.
And we know it's seasonal, but I mean, heck, November's going to be here soon, Evan. Okay.
It's a fact.
Okay.
Guys,
Well,
we
it's a
really
25.
appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out with us. For Neil,
We're on first name. I like our
Kelly.
nickname.
for Tully, for Kurt.
Listen here, listeners. This 25 is going to be. It's going to come alive.
Neil,
in
bring
25.
us out. You brought
It's
us
gonna
in.
come
Bring
al-
us out.
It's going to come alive in 25. And we have to thank our listeners.
Come alive
Who
in
have-
25.
Yes.
I think you just got a slogan. Let's put that on a shirt.
It's happening. It's happening. And we want to thank our listeners for
Yeah,
hanging with
100%.
us. And keep hanging with us because it's going to get real interesting.
Yeah, we got some great guests this year. We're thankful for where this journey has taken us. Woo! Let's go. From the Patriot Mobile Studios, this is Try That in a Small Town podcast.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.